Good morning, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. If you please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. It is October 6th, Monday. This is the general meeting of the Broadwater County Commissioners. And as always, we will take care of a little bit of homework before getting started. Broadwater County has a civility policy or a public meeting policy. We follow Robert's Rules of Order. The purpose of this policy is to open Broadwater County public meetings to all county citizens. We realize we have a fiscal and fiduciary responsibility to conduct county business as efficiently as possible for all Broadwater County residents. Commission meetings are recorded and are on YouTube, so please state your full name prior to any public comment. Any separate conversations need to be removed from the meeting and conducted outside. Outbursts will not be tolerated. Public comment will give each citizen who wishes to speak an initial 3 minutes to do so, and all comments should be directed to the board chair. So with that, just a quick announcement before we get into public comment. There is an IRS scam right now going on. If you get that call, do not pay any money. Contact the sheriff's office immediately. And we'll put that in the minutes so that will also please hopefully be read by a good number of the public. So with that, is there any public comment? Paul.
Madam Chair, Paul Bray. I just want to thank everybody in the area who participated in the Fall Fest weekend. It was a fantastic weekend. Rotary sponsors it. Rotary underwrites the $36,000 a year it costs to put it on. But it's a fantastic number of people who work at this thing and make it happen. It's far more than just the Rotary Club. And it's far more enjoyable than just the Rotary Club. I think everyone had a good time. The car show this year, bigger than it's ever been. Different cars than were ever here before. A lot of pretty iron out there. And the rest of the show was just as good. A lot of different people came through to enjoy the entertainment. And the entertainment was varied enough that it was enjoyed by several different audiences. So my hat's off to the community and thank you everyone.
How many were here, Paul? Do you have any idea?
Don't have any idea. I'm guessing probably 6,000 plus.
I heard 6,000 to 10,000 if you count the 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because the variety of entertainment, there would be one audience for one band and they would leave and a totally different audience would come in for another entertainment. And it's kind of hard to keep track of how many there were here. But boy, anybody who walked up to Midway during the car show, there were lots of people. Lots of people.
Thank you, Paul.
Sure, you're welcome.
Carol, did you have your hand up?
I do. I'm Carol Plimo, and I read the minutes. And I'm just wondering, my question is, how come the PILT funds went to the Rod and Gun Club for $10,000? And then the fire department has asked and requested several times and have not received anything. So that's my question.
All right. Thank you.
Do I get an answer?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Any other public comment? What we do, Carol, is we listen to all public comment and then get the answers. Any other public comment? Tim?
Madam Chair, Tim Ravendale. Several meetings ago, I pointed out a possible typographical error on a resolution adopted in September regarding the budget process. Actually, the 8th of September when it was signed by this commission. And on the very last whereas on the first page where it stated 2-6-212 regarding destruction of records, I see that that has been changed to 2-9-212. So I thank you for making that correction. And what I guess I'm really needing to get an answer from the entire commission from is the public have been asking for a preliminary budget process to be able to look at the entire departmental budget process. And that has not happened, as per Title VII, as I pointed out in the statutes I listed, give you the commission here. And so what my question today is, Madam Chair and the entire commission, is if we're looking at adopting a final budget this morning, it is just really going to be very difficult for the general public to work on a substantive comment into that process without having an available process that we could have preliminary look at this. I was at the office of our finance manager on Friday seeking a summary and or look at the departmental budget process, and I was told that it is not available until after it's adopted final. So again, Madam Chair, members of the commission, we need to be able to do better in having an open and fair, transparent process. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment? John?
John Wright. Laura, as a citizen of this county and as a taxpayer, I'm so far in the dark about what the budget really is, what is done, what's been paid out, which was inappropriable as well as unpayable. And there's a lot of information out floating around now. I demand this budget to be brought to the full and complete compliance with our constitutional law. That's US of A constitutional law, not state statutory law. As we are a constitutional county, and we have the rights to know, and I want to know.
Any other public comment? Bob?
Bob Brasker. Following up a little bit on Paul Gray's comment, for anybody that was there and listened to the Reverend Slinky Band that's there, Cody Hollow, who is the leader of that band, is the music teacher over here. And he is just an example of the extremely high quality of the teachers that we have over in this school. That was a fabulous outfit. First time I got to listen to it, I've been looking forward to it for a long time. And he's been doing a wonderful, wonderful job with the music department, as are most of the teachers that are over there. And I just think we need to put a shout out to those guys for all the good work they do. Second thing, I guess I would have an argument with our previous person. Broadwater County is a subdivision of the state of Montana, not really a subdivision of the United States.
Thank you, Bob. Any other public comment? Paul?
May I make one addition?
Mm-hmm.
Paul Ray again. The music department of our high school is great. They have a distinct advantage because one of the professional bands that was here for the weekend, the Alte Kameraden, several of those band members came on Friday night and played with the kids at the football game. And what a choice for those kids. What a beautiful thing for them to be able to play with that caliber of professional musicians. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity that many of them will never see again.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Comment? All right. Carol, as far as the PILT question, yes, we did give money to the Rod and Gun Club, $10,000. Their facility is used to help law enforcement. That's what they do. There's a lot of their target shooting, weapons training, that kind of thing. It's also used by the public, and Gallatin County does not have a Rod and Gun Club, so they actually come here and use ours, so it's an economic driver for our community. As far as the fire department, we have currently a request from the city fire department to help with the new truck they got and the equipment they need from that. We have not done the PILT request. We did the Rod and Gun Clubs because it was an emergency. But we will be doing all the PILT requests when we're done with the budget. It's part of the process. As far as the rural fire district, they have come forward But members of the board also came forward and said, actually, we don't need this money, we already paid off this loan. So if they put forth another request, we will certainly address it. We have a very good working relationship with the fire department, but we're not gonna just hand out money to somebody who isn't asking for it. So they just need to come forward with a letter and let us know what they need. Tim Ravindell, I'm concerned by how confused you are. Number one, there is a preliminary budget process. It's very clear. We've been following it for years. We have corrected it. We have made advances in it. Your interpretation of the specific laws you've cited are actually taking pieces and using just that little piece rather than marrying Title VII as one unit. I have asked you to talk to the county attorney to get educated on what those statutes say so that you can better understand it. But yes, we have a process. We are following it. The public, no one else from the public other than John Wright has had the same issues you have. So I personally would like to hear you say, I stand up for Tim Ravindell, because too many members of the public are saying he doesn't speak for me. So that you are self-appointed in that place, and I think you need to step back and speak for yourself. As far as being told that the budget was not available, that is not the case. I received an email from Debbie, and that is absolutely not the case. She told you that she had preliminary paperwork. You are more than welcome to look at that. You should do so with the commissioner so we can explain what you are looking at. I was in the office every single day this week, including for a while on Friday with Fall Fest, and you could have called me at any time, or one of my fellow commissioners who have the exact same paperwork, that we all have the same, as well as our department heads, every single one of them. John Wright, I don't even know where to go with that one. So kudos and
Why don't you answer it anyway?
kudos and ditto to both Paul and Bob. The lesson that the band teacher taught the kids this weekend with his band was so much more than you could ever teach in a classroom. He was a rock star, and he's a rock star to those kids, and band is cool. And kids who understand music and how to read music tend to excel in math and science. This was a tremendous weekend for so many people in so many ways, so thank you for your comments, and we do have some phenomenal teachers in the school. Do you guys have anything to add?
No, if you're gonna go to Montana Minutes, I do.
You bet I will.
I have to just ditto what Paul said. What a fantastic weekend. Hats off to Rotary and all the other organizations that were involved. Probably the biggest thing in our community is the Fall Fest, by and far. It was hard to get through the crowds. They were that thick. Jared went to take their little girl in a stroller to get a corn dog and had to go out in the street and move around because he couldn't get through. It was so big. So wonderful. Thank the good Lord for the weather. It couldn't have been any better. And Laura, you did great.
I'm part of a very big, very dedicated team, and not a single one of us does it by ourselves.
No, it's a
But
team effort.
we all work pretty darn hard. Franklin, you got a Montana Minute, something good to say?
Yeah, congratulations football team for well-deserved win. And also to the school, apparently, this is just what I got from the paper and stuff, they had Ag Day, and that was great. Kids that are farmers and ranchers, they could come in with their tractors and combines. I think that was great.
Anybody who drove by that parking lot when all those things were there, that was marvelous. Combines and balers and the whole bit.
Big tractors and little tractors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And little kids crawling all over everything like ants on a sugar pile. They really enjoyed it,
And that's what we want, hands-on.
absolutely.
Well, it shows
Yes.
the community that we are definitely an ag community.
And we are a united community.
Yes, we are.
I just can't get over how much everyone in the community participates in something like this. By the way, the history of the Fall Fest, this was the 14th year. The first year we had the Fall Fest was in Massa Park. I cooked brats on the barbecue that I brought from home at that first Fall Fest, it was not the same as the Fall Fest we saw this weekend by any means. Like Topsy, it has just grown.
That's not a lot of time, 14 years for the change, that kind of growth.
No, but it shows the participation of the community.
How many
And the vision of you guys who started it.
outside vendors outside the county were here?
Oh, good question. I would say probably, we accommodated all locals who wanted to participate. I'd say probably 3/4 to 4/5 were from out of county, probably 8 were from out of state. So, yeah, it's no longer a sleeper show.
I would guess half the people that attended were from out of town. Would you say that, Laura?
Easily,
Oh,
a lot of
Well,
people
they had to
from.
be, there aren't that many people in town.
Right, yeah.
Well, just sitting there listening to the band one night, I didn't know the biggest share of the people.
Right.
Neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Montana Minute is what Paul just said. There was such an air of happiness, an air of unity, an air of just absolute camaraderie on so many levels at Fall Fest this weekend. It was incredible to see.
This was begun as a means of creating a weekend of business for the business community of Townsend, between the summer fishing and recreation season and hunting season, which usually there's about a month to 6 weeks lull in there. And bless her heart, Sandy Rose, who used to own the mansion, came up with this idea. And Sandy was one of those people who had great ideas, but she expected someone else to do the work for them. And the idea.
And you did.
We all did. We all did. At that time, I think there were 20 members of the Rotary Club, and we all pitched in. Now there are 50 members, and it probably takes 100 people to do the Fall Fest. So you know how much that outside participation we had.
Any other Montana Minutes, positive comments about our community, Tim?
I would like to take just a half a second here and just one part that hasn't been mentioned about this great weekend that we have here in Broadwater County and Townsend was our parade, honoring and paying respect to our veterans and our service people. That was a great event. Those folks are out there every day, standing for our freedoms and our liberties, and having an opportunity to participate in that myself personally was an honor, because they deserve everything, and as a veteran, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Can I add a comment to that?
Mm-hmm.
That parade always has been and always will be a-religious and apolitical. And unfortunately, we have some people who want to turn that parade to their own benefits. And that's unfortunate that those people are that disrespectful and that willing to bend the rules. We wonder what other rules those same people would bend.
Thank you, Paul.
Would he clarify that? Could you clarify that?
Sure, Tim Ravendall played politics in the parade.
Yeah. Shame on you for the comments. The sentiments are right on, Tim, but using our military and our vets is despicable. So with that, we will get on with the rest of our meeting. At 10:15, we have Dana Rouser, Road and Bridge update. Come on up, Tim.
No. Dana.
So sorry. Come on up, Dana.
Would you like me to-
My apologies.
Good morning, Dana.
Morning. Just a few things. We got, working on North Fork this week. I got some big rocks up there we're trying to get covered up the road before winter time. Did a lot of work over on Quarter Circle Road and Beaver Creek, Filson last week. In fact, I just got done driving them this morning, and I think we're looking pretty good over there. We got things shaped up pretty good there. But This North Fork's got some big, I mean, it's got some big rocks poking up out of it, you know, throughout the summer here with the rain and whatnot, so they'll get that fixed up today.
You hauling material in.
Yeah, yeah, and Will's off here for another, well, he'll be off for another 2 weeks, but, he's been off for a week and a half already, but when we get him back, we're gonna be, I'm gonna try to get him on some of these mountain roads and get some of these mountain roads taken care of. I know we got a couple that are not in real good shape. Indian Creek's one of them, on up past John Baird, down through the bottom. Got, actually gotta run a loader up on Upper Duck Creek and fill a couple holes up along that one bank that's kind of sloughing off a little bit between, well, it's up through Plimal's ground up in there. It's where the fence is there on the road, but it's not too bad. It's just a couple minor holes, so. We'll get that done, and Crow Creek Valley, gonna be out in Crow Creek Valley here probably 2 weeks. Hopefully get this stuff done before it gets froze up. I got quite a bit of blading to do out there, and got some gravel hauling to do out there, so. Three Forks isn't looking too bad. We're just kinda down there. We got, some stuff bladed up down there last week, and like a little, well, we're starting to mow back now with the mower. I hauled it down here a week and a half ago and got most of that done. I got about 2 hours left down there, and then we'll be coming back to 437 and redoing all that stuff where we had a lot of rain and weeds came right back up on us. So the mowing's pretty well done. We got North Fork and Cottonwood left, Clopton Lane,
Riley Road.
Riley Road, yeah, you know, and just in that little area is all we got left, so, you know, that should be done here next week or so and get that buttoned up, but other than that, we're not looking too bad. Got a meeting in, Macker's meeting tomorrow in Butte, and then that, regional meeting in Rapid City here in a couple weeks, so. Gonna be going to that. Also, I'm wondering about, thinking about maybe getting another truck, tractor, trailer, or, you know, just a tractor to pull our water trailer. Actually, to pull the low boy and the belly dump. What I wanna do is, I got the 97 Kenworth, and I'd like to put the 97 over on the big water trailer. You know, that one we've got on the water trailer now is a little bit tired. We're still okay with it. I've got an 81 Freightliner cab over that I'd like to take and pull our little water trailer off of, our little water tanker. Put on the 91 that I want to pull off of the big water trailer. Put the 97 on the big water trailer, and then I'd like to get another one with a little bit more horsepower and a little bit newer to do the water, the low boy and the belly dump. So, I don't know, I guess I just need to, you know, make sure it's okay with you. If I do that, I can get one for under 50 grand, I think. You know, I mean, I don't wanna spend a whole bunch of money, I just, you know.
You gonna get rid of the other one and then?
I'll get rid of the 81, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a cab over, it's tough to get in. It's just kind of, you know, not real user friendly, so. But it still runs good. I mean, I don't know, somebody might be able to use it for a farm truck or something, you know, so. It's not worth a lot of money, but,
Considering it's over 30 years old.
yeah. And I got a couple other little pieces of equipment down there I'd like to get rid of. I got that little disc that we put behind the tractor once in a while, you know, to bring the stuff up on the shoulders, and we just don't use it enough. So I'd like to maybe just, you know, put that in and get rid of that. And, you know, we got that little pup down there, that little pup trailer. I don't know, if I get something with some more horsepower, I might be able to, you know, utilize that too and get quite a bit more hauling done in the winter time, but, I don't know, whatever you guys think. I mean,
You're just looking at an upgrade to have something a little bit more user-friendly and reliable?
yeah, just
Not as old?
switch a couple of things around on some equipment and then, you know, get, you know, something a little bit newer and a little more horsepower to get by with the, you know, the bigger stuff, so.
You're starting to shop around and see if you can find.
Yeah, I've checked a little bit here and there, you know, I mean, I haven't got full blown yet. I wanted to check with you guys first and see what you thought, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, I've got the money, it is,
That was my question. Do you have the money in the budget?
yeah, I do.
That sounds, on that little disc you're talking about. Maybe someday will use that. I don't, do you really wanna get rid of it or just let her sit?
Well, we can let it sit. I mean, it's not costing us
Yeah,
anything to let it
yeah,
sit.
there's no rubber on it or anything.
No, so,
Wear out, just setting, so.
yeah. You know,
That's my idea.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe sometime along the line you might wanna use it.
yeah, and it does work okay. I mean, you know, at certain spots, it's
Mhm.
just, and we don't need to get rid of it, it's just something I was thinking about, so. Anyway, other than that, I think we're sitting pretty good on our equipment. Everything's pretty good shape, we're keeping up with things, so. Roads really aren't looking too bad. I've got a couple sections that are not real great, but, you know, we're gonna get working on those.
Yeah, and you're gonna be out that area, Lombard, Toshanan Road, and that lower part of Muddy Lane.
Yeah, Lower Muddy Lane is that whole thing is kinda messed up through there. Upper Kempton Lane's got some rocks showing on it pretty bad.
Have you got quite a bit of gravel at Lone Mountain yet?
We haven't used any of it.
Oh, you
yet
haven't? Okay.
This spring, so, or this summer.
Are they gonna be
Well,
on fresh here in 6 Mile this
I'm
fall?
hoping so this fall. I don't know, Frank,
Yeah.
but I've still got them down to Three Forks and they're just moving pretty slow.
Yeah, and they're pretty busy on this highway project now too.
Well, that's a whole different ballgame there though.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
for the crews.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, he's actually got two guys that are handling that crushing
Oh, was that,
plant
oh, okay.
steady.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
just going a whole lot slower than what I ever thought it would go. You know, it looks like a good product, you know, I've been out, you know, both places several times and seeing how they're doing and whatnot, but, you know, I think we'll be okay. They're just, you know, 300-400 yards a day maybe, sometimes less than that, so.
And I'm sure they have the same thoughts. This is slower than we thought it'd be. We wish it were going
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah, and I've talked to Brandon a little bit, you know, he said that. He was thinking it'd be a little quicker, but it's not. So.
It's kind of a new field they're stepped into too.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we'll see how he does this year. He may end up doing something a little bit different with a little bit bigger one maybe down the road, possibly, which would be, I think, good on his part, so,
Good for you.
yeah. I know the mail routes that,
Wow.
whoever turned them into you,
Yvonne?
yeah, them ones I went out and checked on them all. We did go fill some holes, did some blading on some stuff we need to get blading on, like the River Road and this and that, but that Raidersburg is a tough area. The only way you can really, you know, I checked all the streets in there and they're really, I think a guy could get by with some blading in there. There's a couple holes there I think we can haul a dump truck or load
Mhm.
into.
On that east side there, or used to be anyway.
Well, yeah, I can't get through that stuff between Matt Horns and Todd Kazer's building there. I mean, I just can't get there. Them big cottonwood trees are hanging over the top, unless somebody's gonna go in and trim them trees. You know, like I said, we can get a blade in there, that's about it. Can't get my belly up in there, cause everything's too tight.
No, yeah, yeah,
Coming
I'm
up
sure,
in there.
yeah.
But, you know, I checked, there's not a lot of holes in there.
Yeah. I didn't think so either, but, I guess maybe it hasn't been, it's been a long time since anything was done, and I think that's what's got them concerned, so. Anything you can get done in there would be
Yeah.
great, I think, for them.
You know, we did, when Bob was here, we went up onto that west side, you know, up through Barnett's and, up there where Spritzers live, back behind in there. You know, we redid a bunch of that stuff, you know, there's a lot of that stuff that's growing up. You know, it's got some weeds in the middle of the road and everything else, but it's smooth, you know, so I mean, it's not like it's gonna tear your vehicle up as you're driving through it. There's not a lot of people drive through it anyway, but, that street up there where Tom Williams' house, where John used to live up through there, I think it's Brown Street, goes back down to the fire hall to the north. You know, that could use a little bit of a blading in there too, so. But I did go look at it and I don't know, it's just.
Used to be a big hole down from the old Oddfellows Hall down in that curve down in there.
Yeah, right there's a hole. I
Yeah.
gotta put something in there. I mean, I think one will take care of that, so. And then Tom Lane, we gotta get in there and do that. Tom Webb contacted me on that. They're gonna be moving some cattle, trucking some cattle through there, so. Anyway, we'll light that up again. Other than that, I think we're all
Sounds
right.
good.
Hey Dana, would you explain what the snow rodeo is and how your crew did?
Oh, snow rodeo is put on by LTAP, which is, local technical assistance program out of MSU. They're the ones that do all our training, our safety training, our equipment training, any of that stuff, we try to go to that, as much of that as we can. The snow rodeo is basically, you go to a day of training, and they train you on different fields, and in fact, that's what we're doing at Mackers right now, is trying to come up with different types of training that people are interested in, throughout the state. So, like I went to a meeting last week, and then I got another one tomorrow, and then I got another one in November. And that'll be basically for our spring Mackers, trying to get everything finalized for that. So, the snow rodeo is basically, like I said, you go to a day of training, and then the next day, it's competition. And I mean, they got different, everybody brings their crew members in, or however many they can bring. And everybody competes, and everybody's pretty competitive, I think, but TJ, of course, he came out with a first place loader and a first place grader for the whole state. Willie came in with third for the all-around, the champion of champions, which he was an all-around champion, 2 or 3 years ago. So Mark didn't do anything, but actually they did pretty good. So I guess with all the training and the equipment usage and everything else, we do pretty good. So it's kind of a fun deal for them. It's nothing. It's not a work day by any means. It's a training day and 1 day a year of fun. So anyway, that's what that's all about. But they did do good. Came with a couple trophies. So.
And it translates to the training and the expertise that
Yeah.
your crew has. And I think that's important for people to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you were to have some time, because, extra time, great to see an article in the paper about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let the public know, how qualified your
Yeah.
crew is, you
And
and your crew.
And I think actually TJ's got his trophies down at the shop yet there, so. I guess if you wanted to set something up, sure, you got
Okay.
one.
Sounds good.
I could have TJ around.
That'd be great.
Okay, we'll get with you on it.
Okay. Anyway, that's all
I
I
think
got.
for a small community, it says a lot.
I do too.
And for
I
their
do too.
leader.
Yes, I do too.
So other than that, that's about all we got.
Anything else for Dana? All
No.
right.
The truck thing, I mean, is that
Oh,
okay?
yes.
or
Yeah,
not, or-
I'd say start looking and see what you come up with.
I mean, I don't wanna spend a whole lot of money. I mean, if I get away with nothing, I get away with nothing, but, I'm not gonna be able to.
No motion.
An informal motion would be excellent. Yeah,
So
it's, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded informally to go ahead and support your need for, looking for new vehicles too, or this new vehicle too.
Okay. And I do have some money in my 2110 940, which will cover most of it. I may have to come to you guys to get a release on my 4005.
You also have 210,000 over surplus.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
but
so
I'm
whatever
just
you
gonna
want to
keep
do.
it in my little,
Okay,
keep it in my little pile.
all right.
Okay?
Sounds good. Thanks
All
a
right.
lot, Dana.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. We'll put the cart before the horse a little bit. We do have minutes from September 29, 2014. And these were emailed out last week. I was gonna see them again.
Like Sam.
Yeah. I just went through this one.
So moved.
Just a second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of September 29, 2014. I do want to ask just for a friendly amendment. There is a paragraph about PILT, and it mentions the fly-in. There was a successful PILT fly-in by Mako representatives to Washington DC. I think that's clear. I was thinking about at home that it might be misconstrued that this was Broadwater County paying to send people. But I think that's Mako representatives, we're not Mako representatives, we're commissioners, so thank you. All right, so all those in favor of the motion as it was stated, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks, Ann. We sent information, but that's all it was. Cost the citizens $0.00. All right, 10:30, we have a public hearing. So we are going to close this general meeting and open a public hearing to adopt the fiscal year 15 county departmental budget. On September 8th, we had a public hearing and vote to adopt the budget, the overall budget, which is the mills. And then what you do is, the second step is you adopt the departmental budgets. So is there, these have been available to anyone who wanted to see them. Any questions or public comment on the budget for fiscal year 15 departmental wise? Brenda?
Brenda Ludwig, Broadwater County Sheriff. My only comment is that my personnel line items, I did receive the documentation from Debbie, but it still doesn't reflect what exactly is in those line items. I just have the bulk amount. So I have no way to confirm that they meet with Montana Code or the collective bargaining agreement for each area. And also it appears from the documentation that I received that the budgeted cash reserves are over the statutory amount. I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Say that last part again, please, Brenda.
What's that?
Say that last part again, please.
The budgeted reserves on this one sheet that I received from her is over the statutorily amount.
Oh, okay.
As far as the personnel stuff, I'm not sure what Brenda is getting at. This is the sheet that was emailed to her. It was emailed to you guys as well. I don't know if you have brought copies with you. But it has the FICA, the Medicare, the PERS, the sheriff pension, the vision, EAP insurance, unemployment insurance, workman's comp. So it's got everything there, and then it's also got deputies, dispatch, detention, MRDTF, reserve, step, UDL, BOR, Forest Service coroner. So it's got all the elements.
Which one are you looking at?
I am looking at the one that at the very top says Broadwater County BOCC/Public Safety fiscal year 2015 salaries.
And through the permanent, if you look at the sheriff's deputies, the $404,000, what all does that consist of?
That's the salary for permanent. So what you would do is you look at each of your employees, because they're your staff, and see what they make, and you can actually add those numbers together to come up with the 404.
Okay, and how many hours are set for the part-timers in that? That's what I'm looking for.
You're
Is
the boss.
Is the detail
You're the boss. That's with you, Brenda.
correct? And I've been trying to get that information and work with accounting on that information.
It has been provided for you in public meetings, in our working meetings, through your staff, and now we have a trackable email of getting you that information. So I think we need to end right now that you're not getting the information.
You're right, I'm not getting the information, the proper information.
As far as the 33%, this would be good news. I don't see where your reserves are over the 33%.
For the detention center?
Oh, yes. For the detention center, that will be anything over 33% for any department, and this is yours, anybody's. We have two other departments here. Though that money goes into the capital line item, so there's just the 33%, and anything above that, and it's highlighted on the bottom of each page, is going into the capital account, so we're capped at the legal 33%. Any further public comment on the budget? Tim?
Madam Chair, members of the commission, I just would like to reiterate my comments in the public comment period this morning regarding not being able to make a substantial comment on the budget because there has not been an official preliminary to look at. Thank you.
As far as the detention center, it says on the very bottom, $129,598 is over 33% reserves and will be allocated to object 940 or CIP funds 4,000. So that is covered. Any other comments, questions, public observations on the budget? Anything from the board?
I believe so.
Okay,
Looks like we're doing with it.
all right. 10:45 then, we will close this public hearing and go back to our regularly scheduled program. We have a decision to adopt the fiscal year 15 county departmental budget. We do have the resolution from September 8th in which there was a public hearing and a vote to set the mills. And that will be resubmitted for the record. We also have a resolution to adopt the departmental budgets. I won't read the whole thing. It is hereby moved that the commissioners will adopt the fiscal year 15 attachment A, and we have also to be submitted for the record mills, complete sheet, breakdown by department. These were also emailed out. So I would entertain a motion unless there's further questions.
Yeah, well, we adopted the mill, which was set forth by the state, but we never did approve the preliminary budget or have a public hearing on it, on the
Yes, we
preliminary
did.
budget.
You were here. What's that? You know what, I didn't bring my book because I had my budget book. You should bring the minutes from September 8th up for us. Thank you.
Was that the one we approved the millage?
Got a question, Madam Chair?
Just a minute, please.
You guys ran out of dots?
No, we have an agreement with Bob that he has a certain number that if we go over what we order, we can order on the spot from him. He's another one of the many people who works with Fall Fest. Without him, we're sunk. Every day, yeah. Thanks, Ann. All right, from September 8, 2014, there was no public comment at the public hearing for adoption of mills for the fiscal year 15 county budget. Commissioner Gravely moved to adopt the resolution providing for the tax levy in mills for fiscal year 15. Motion was seconded by Commissioner Salifka and carried.
Right, we accepted the millage. We never did have anything on the preliminary budget though.
Franklin,
That is the preliminary budget.
right. We've been over
That's what's
this.
set forth by the state, that millage, I mean,
No. Parts of it, yes, not all of it. There's floating mills. That's our
well,
responsibility,
yeah, that part.
right? We've been over this over and over again. The budget is 2 steps per statute. One is to set the mills, and there's a date set for that, and that's what we did on this September 8th, in which you seconded the motion. The second
Accepted
part of the
millage.
budget, and this is all preliminary till it's approved, is to set the departmental budget, and that's what we're doing today. And this is by the date set in statute.
Yeah, it's also a statute to have the notice of the public meetings for the preliminary budget.
We did that.
And all we did was the resolution to accept the millage, right?
No. No, Franklin, there's been legal ads for both public hearings, and it's been in the paper multiple times. In the legal ads, I have proof right here in the calendar, I showed it to you last week.
It's, the preliminary budget is what I'm talking about.
Franklin, everything that we do with the budget is the preliminary budget process until it's adopted. Notice of public hearing in accordance with 764021 and 764024 MCA. A public hearing to adopt by resolution the determination for the 2014-2015 Broadwater County final and now annual budget is set for Monday, October 6, 2014 at 10:30 a.m. in the courtroom of the county courthouse. Published date, September 25, 2014 and October 2, 2014. So with that, are you going to second the motion, Commissioner Salifka? Was there a motion?
Yeah.
Thank you.
What was the motion? You know, so much is so confused, I'm just looking here again on, of course, everything gets back and forth.
That's the budget process.
Okay, I'm looking at this one here where the county attorney's budget was set for fiscal year 15 at $849,000. I mean, there's
Franklin,
so many things back and forth that,
Franklin, you were just sent the appropriate paperwork. That is the first iteration. There were errors in it.
I guess there was some error.
Oh,
Yeah.
heaven forbid. Would you look at the current paperwork, please? Franklin, are you gonna
I
second
guess the other thing would
motion?
be is if his public safety, is that squared around?
No, it isn't. Brenda is badly underwater. She's at 0, she's not in the negative. She has dropped revenue. She has asked for additional expenses in the amount of almost $62,000, not including personnel. We are going to be working with her on a monthly basis, as agreed to 2 weeks ago, to try and solidify and fix her budget. That is her job as a department head and elected official. No other department head comes in here and says, Commissioners, will you fix my budget? That is the department head's responsibility. But we are going to assist because this is extremely important. But we do not fix it for people. We work on the county budget, and that's what we're here for today. Are you going to second the motion, or do you have something substantive to
Well,
offer?
ask Brenda, are you okay with this, or what's your?
I don't know what is in my personnel line items. I've been asking for that and asking for that from our payroll/accounting. And I understand where you're coming from the preliminary budget hearing, because that was my question prior to this. We usually have preliminary budget hearings, and I just printed out copies of them just not too long ago.
What's the MCA for those?
764020, 764024.
Yeah, 4024 is in the resolution. I'm not sure what 4020 is.
It just says preliminary annual operating budget.
Can I see it?
Mhm.
Thank you very much. One, must be prepared by the local government check. Component budgets must be submitted to the clerk and recorder before June 10th. That was done. Brenda, this just solidifies that everything we have done is within 76420. Thank you very much. What you did right here is
When-
just
okay.
solidified that we have followed the process.
When did you advertise the preliminary budget? for
I
the-
just read it, Brenda.
No, that's the mill, setting the mills.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? All right, I will second the motion. It has been moved and seconded to adopt the departmental budget 2015. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm gonna abstain. I believe the parts of it isn't all complete.
Franklin is abstaining. Abstain. Motion carries unanimously. If you have issues with the budget, you can work with anyone at any time. But to get to this point and have nothing to offer. Franklin, do you care to sign the budget? Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, Chairman?
Madam Chair,
Question.
I should have probably brought this up at the hearings section, but I missed my opportunity, overlooked that, but if you'll indulge me. On your sheet that is somewhat attached to the resolution adopted on September 8th that describes the mill values and the breakdown of those mill values on the preliminary budget process. On the millage by school district, we don't have any notations on that Three Forks School District as far as what that is. There's that line item, if you will, maybe not using the right term, is blank. The copy that I have here is the one that was picked up on Friday, and the one that was done in September has a note on it, a handwritten note that says will change. There is no change within that section of the mill values. So Madam Chair, has there been a Three Forks School District value added into this resolution that was adopted, or any other changes?
First of all, it's not somewhat attached, it actually is attached, and that's what we agreed on September 8th. You mentioned the preliminary budget process. I thank you for that. You've solidified, and I hope closed this debate, which frankly is absolutely ridiculous. As far as these political subdivisions, they are not required to have that done by the 8th of September, so some of those got done later. The will change was probably a note put on yours. It was not in the one, as I recall, that we adopted with the budget. We might even have that. As far as any changes, Debbie looked into that. If there was a need for change, she put it in. If there wasn't, she didn't. And my recollection is there wasn't.
Madam
Yeah,
Chair, just follow up
there's,
real
just
quick. There appears to be the reference to this being attached to the resolution. That's why I asked the question. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam
Unless I
Chair,
missed it.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe the correct one is attached to this one to adopt the budget.
Absolutely.
And if it will make anybody any happier, we can also attach it to the other one, which has been done in the past. There's a history of that.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's go ahead and do that just to make sure that everybody is happy. And as far as the The preliminary one, I do not have one that has anything referencing a change on it, so, you know, if the numbers stay the same, that's, you know, not a surprise.
It's just a question, Madam Chair.
So, anything else on the budget? All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to, business. It's 11 o'clock, Bill Duty, Lower Deep Creek Drainage District, letter of support for grant and decision. Come on forward, Bill. Thank you very much.
Morning, Deb.
Morning. Madam Chair, other commissioners, and what I would like to get from the commission is, right now, we've got one grant, and a $10,000 grant from DNRC. We have another 10,000 grant that will probably be coming this week. But I'm working with the Broadwater Conservation District, with Denise Thompson, on putting together a 223 grant. And we're gonna probably submit that next week. One of the things that Denise asked is if we could get a letter of support from the commission, and then I go in front of City Council tomorrow night and get a letter from them. We will have machines on the ground starting the 15th. We waited till fall irrigation. We'll be starting out over on Ant Mix. We gotta let a lot of stuff drain before we do too much. We've got some culverts, probably 3 culverts that we've gotta tear out and let it all drain and look at putting them back in. But right now, we're just seeking support from the county on doing this, and basically, we're doing everything right now just through grant money. And so, it looks like it's coming together pretty good. And so, but that's what I'm asking.
What is the purpose of this grant? What are you doing?
The Lower Deep Creek drainage system was put down in 1950, and it was to drain the whole south side of town, because the area from Bob's out was actually a bog at that time. And October of last year, when we had those heavy winds, okay, that's when it really came to notice. It was just full of tumbleweeds. So we started looking at this, and actually we met with you guys at that time, and then Mike Conkey is the one that actually brought it to our attention that this was a drainage district. That was established back in the 1950s when this was put in. It doesn't go away. So we had to go through the whole process. Judge Sherlock appointed me, Andy Bruce, and Chuck Hahn as commissioners. John Walsh is the secretary. So we've been in this process of reorganizing this. Because if your property touches this ditch, guess what? You're a member. Okay? What we're doing that we're trying to, we've got people over on that side that as the water table comes up, okay? Because one of the things that's a concern to us, there's a ditch that runs east and west, right off the Bruce property, goes over towards where Linda White's come in. That ditch generates a lot of water. It's not reaching Jack Farm Road. It's going underground somewhere. And we don't have the flow. One of the problems is out there on Sam Antmix. There was a culvert that was put in, but it's jacked like that. It backs up water that it doesn't allow the property, to drain. And to where we can't get a good flow. So we got probably at least 2 foot of silt all the way through. We've had to organize. We got Tom Budowitz as an attorney. That was the very first thing that Judge Sherlock asked. We've got WWC Engineering working with Sean Higley on this, to where, and it's taken a while to get everything all put together. But now getting that grant, meeting with DNRC, they came out, we walked through the whole project with them, and they were just going, yeah. So we've got to start there and rip it out and just let it drain, because it's got everything backed up. Purpose, one of the things where this ditch comes about is out at the mill, their ponds for fire suppression, this ditch feeds that. It also feeds all the out there on the ponds, out by the dike system and everything, this, you know, for there. But I know this last spring, out by John Walsh's, the water had came up so much. It was sort of like, you probably remember back in south side of town when the streets all bubbled. Okay, that was their driveway. And trying to get to where we're not following people's septic system, wells, whatever. And it's the thing to always remember, and this is one, and Judge Sherlock was brought out, this drainage district is a creature unto its own. It's not like an irrigation district or anything, and it doesn't go away. And so what we are right now is giving the old girl a hand and putting her back in, and hopefully, nothing had been done on it since they put this ditch in. 5.5 miles of ditch. And they put out on Jack Farm Road, we've got culverts to where they're undersized. We go from a 12-inch culvert, the standard culvert when this was put in was a 3-foot concrete culvert. Out there, there's from 12-inch to 14-inch to 18-inch. They're plugged, they're not allowing the water to flow. And so that's what we're going to look at doing. Right now, after I get done, I've been spending most of my time writing grants. And we've got one, and this one's coming, probably should come due this week. Then applying for this other one. And what we're doing is looking forward to go to the, there's in 2016 is when we got to submit it. And that's that unless they changed it, was $125,000 grant. And then it goes to 150, I think it might have went to 150,000. The legislature approves or disapproves that in 2017. But we're gonna go with that to try to keep everything off taxpayers. And but again, from when they built this, nothing has been done till now. And the ditches function, but it's losing steam big time. And the thing that we don't want, the thing back there was, okay, there was flood irrigation. Now there isn't. But there's still a lot of water that generates that. The Broadwater Canal feeds that system. Montana Ditch feeds that system. Everything out there that's getting irrigated like that, the river, if you look at the maps from 1930, and all that, and you see these sloughs. You probably remember the Joe Manley slough back there. Well, as that goes, they don't go away. That water course, it might be underground, but it don't go away. And it all feeds that, and that was to drain all this. And right now, our goal is to go back in, clean it, and basically get it flowing to where we don't have to worry about it as long as we live. So.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, is this on, the people that are affected by this, is this on their tax rolls?
Right now, that's a good question. Yes, it is. Where the money's going, we don't know. We can show it up to into the 70s that this is getting taxed. We don't know where it's going. Sometime in there, somebody came in, it got up to, they had it set up on a $600 a year maintenance program back then. Okay, there was Ray Wallace's, Bruce's, McIntyre, is that the right name, Franklin?
There was a
McIntyre out there. And in there, they were getting taxed, the Stanleys, Schultz's, everything that, the money's going in. And at one time, this, we've got it up through into the 70s, and we're working with Doug and going down into the basement, trying to find where this is. Okay? We don't know back then if it was just put into the general fund. We don't know. But we've checked the court records. To rescind a tax, you have to have a judge's order. Never been rescinded. So that tax has been getting collected over all these years, but we don't know where it's at, how much is there or anything. We do have one record where somebody, I think it was deposited, and these are just, John has the correct numbers on that, but there's roughly, at one time, there was like $4,000 put into this thing. And all of a sudden, somebody came in and took $3,000 of it. Where did it go? We don't know. There's no record of it. There's a line item that we found off of commissioner's notes. So there is that, and that's something that Judge Sherlock is going to go. We go in front of a hearing with him on the 23rd. He will address that issue at that time. Probably have the county do more of a background search in that, because in reality, there could be roughly, if you go 600 times that many years, it's about $32,000 that could possibly be in it. We don't know.
Does it show up on your tax rolls, yours personally?
No, there's no line item, but the taxes, supposedly, just like the DNRC is the one that brought it up to us. We noticed it in the court case, but there's the people had been taxed on this or assessed on this. Okay, so talking to the DNRC lady up out of Glasgow, she goes, the thing to always remember, we run into this all the time. Tax does not go away unless the judge rescinds and there's nothing there. So somewhere, either back then, because you figure in the 50s, okay, everything might have just went into a general fund. I have no idea. But we're looking into that, but right now we're trying to do that. We're gonna have to, down the road, and again, this is up to Judge Sherlock, that's who we answer to, is we're trying to set up a yearly, that's one thing that's required in the this 223 grant is a long-term maintenance program. We are working on that. Andy and Chuck, Andy was gonna be here today, but Diane broke her leg, and so they're in there, and then Chuck's harvesting, so. But we are putting all that stuff together, and by the time we probably submit this next week, those plans will already be together. So biggest thing is right now is, like Denise said, just a letter of support that you guys are supporting it, because it does affect the county and it definitely affects the city.
Do you have any language?
I have a lot of language, but
All right.
I probably can't say it here. So.
If you could send us either a copy of the grant or language you want in a support letter, we can definitely get that for you and have it to you in 2 days.
Okay.
As long
The
as we
grant
agree on
itself,
that.
I could probably, Sean Higley and I are working on it right now. He's putting budgets, because what we're doing on this is going through phases. There's just too much and it's gonna be too costly to try to go through. And we're trying to, biggest thing that we're doing on this, and that was everybody involved, and that is doing it the correct way.
Right.
Because after we have the hearing with the judge, every meeting now that we have to have, and you guys are probably more aware of it than we are, everything's gotta be a public meeting. And but right now, things are starting to come together to where, again, when we got this grant, we have to use this first grant by the first of the year, it's $10,000. And again, we waited till the fall irrigation season's done. But starting October 15th, there will be equipment on site, and we can start tearing stuff out and go from there.
Do you have to put money up to match the grants?
On the
Percentage?
first two DNRC grants, no. The one grant, the 223 grant, there's a portion where okay, it's a $20,000 grant. One, you don't have to. Okay. There's another one that's a 50-50 match. Now the one grant coming from DNRC right now is a 50. We can use that as a 50 or a matching fund type of thing. The one thing else that we found out on this, we are a government entity. We did not realize that, but we are. And so according to the Montana Annotated and stuff, if you get a chance, read Section 8. You want to educate yourself on a drainage district. and all the sweeping items that go with that. It was sort of mind-boggling. So it's, but we're trying to do this, you know, without, you know, all of a sudden going in and have everybody's land assessed, because you look at the assessment, anybody that's positive or affected by this drain district can be assessed. That's everybody in the south side of town, that's the highway department, it's the railroad, it's the county, the Montana ditch, it's the Broadwater Canal. That's where you're at, and we're trying to do this without that. I would highly, highly recommend all the commissioners to read Section 8 of the Montana Annotated, and that will tell you what a drain district is. It's a creature unto its own. Like Judge Sherlock, he's never dealt with one. So we're trying to do it the right way. And the biggest thing is just get the support of the county and the city.
Hey, Bill, when are you meeting with Judge Sherlock?
Our hearings here, October 23rd, I think it's 1:30 in the afternoon.
30?
Yep.
That would be good for us all to be there as
Yes.
well, to show support and have read chapter, title.
Yep, and I can give you a copy of the, I can print off a copy or send it to you email wise if you want, of my base. I'm meeting with Denise Friday at 1 o'clock. And we're going to sort of fine tune this, because I have to have it into the conservation district by, she'd like to have it by the 13th. That way the officers there can read it. We're setting up, I think one of the officers, I will probably either Andy, Norm, Chuck, and I will probably take them on a tour and show them just what we're looking at. And so that's in there, but I'm trying to get this together to her by October 13th. They submit it to their board October 18th. And if they okay it, then we have to go to November, I think it's November 18th. For some reason that's sticking in my head. But we have to go over to Fairmont Hot Springs and give a 10-minute presentation in front of the state body. And so that's what, so we're working on putting a PowerPoint together, because with any of these grants, we gotta have before pictures, after pictures, everything. But you start looking at what we have to put temporary fencing in, permanent fencing, back in with gates on accesses. It's, right now, it's the right-of-way is an 80-foot right-of-way, 40 feet from center line. And, but there's a bunch of these where we've got to put access roads in because there's nothing there. We've got overgrown from Russian olives, buffalo berries, everything in there to where we can get access to where, and that all goes into the long-term maintenance program that we can go in there. We're trying to, I go in front of the Montana Ditch Board here, I think next week, and working with them because we parallel them through some of this off Jack Farm Road and working on access. And then put permanent gates in to where a person can, you know, we don't have to tear down the fence, put iron gates in to where we can go and we can work on doing this. It's, like I said, there's, 5.5 miles of this that has never been cleaned. And there's some of it that has filled in. Some you can see on a 3-foot culvert you got here. Oh, from me to Annie, it might be that deep. But from that point on, it's that deep. There's nowhere for that water to go, but it's going underground. And so it's, we don't want to, I know, just picture yourself. You live over on the south side of town, you want your basement full of water, you want your well fouled, you want your septic system fouled if you got on septic. I don't think anybody wants that, because guess who's liable? We are. Not a good deal.
The drainage ditch would be?
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's why that thing was put in.
yeah,
All this back over here was put in, and a lot of people ignored what that ditch was put in there for. But I know, like Norman Bruce brought up on that one, was when he was a kid there, you couldn't ride a saddle horse across that ground because it was that boggy. And if you look at the old maps, start from Bob's IGA, that way, where the south side of town was built, that was all basically out of about 2,000 acres of ground. Out in that area, the water was either on the surface or within a foot of the surface. And that's why that ditch was put back in, for farming, plus, you know, I don't think anybody expected the town to grow like that, but that's what it was put in there for. And the biggest thing to remember, not going away.
right. When Mike Conkey gave that presentation and put together the book on this,
Yep.
correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys answer to the district court, right? So
Yes.
you're a district court subdivision, not necessarily a county subdivision, or do you know how that
No,
works?
it is not, no, it's not, we answer to Judge Sherlock.
Okay,
We don't answer to the county commissioner, we don't answer to city council. As that is, that's our boss, is Judge Sherlock.
and we're just a partner like the city because we have concerned citizens,
Yep,
and this affects our
Exactly.
people.
exactly, and that's why we want to be as open on this, because one of the things that we're going to be looking at doing, and that is, again, goes with the grants, we have to start putting newspaper articles out, letting the people know what we're doing. And if, again, if anybody wants a sort of a tour on this, be more than glad to take them out there. There's a lot of these places they can drive to, there's a lot that, some people don't wanna walk, and stuff like that, but, I would be more than, glad to take anybody out there and show them what we're looking at. Because basically it's a mess. Nothing's been done on it for 60 years. And, but she's been doing her job, but she's running out of steam.
Let's need some assistance.
So I say drain ditches pretty much take care of themselves. I think
Yeah.
it's these obstructions, those culverts, you got those culverts straight around, I think it's gonna maintain itself.
That's what we're
And
hoping.
I don't think you're gonna have to do any of that.
We're gonna have, looking with, talking with Sean Higley, Justin Meisner, it is true, a drain ditch does. But right now, getting the flow back, that's our main concern.
That's right, if you get those
Yeah.
culverts, and I think the culverts are the biggest things, especially that one down this.
Well, and he's out on Jack Farm Road, we're so
I know they're-
obstructed there
I
that,
know that's a real bad one there too.
and then by Round Man's, okay, that, we don't know whether that's collapsed. We don't know, but we're not getting a lot of flow there. It could just be silt. But we got a lot of issues that we've got to deal with, because you have to remember, okay, figure 30 feet wide, okay, 8 feet deep, a 4-foot bottom. That's what that ditch was put in. That's a deep ditch. And so, and right now, the fill, just over the years and stuff like that, that's what we're looking at doing. And it's, when Bob Fisher from the DNRC, he's their head engineer, came out and looked at it, yeah, he was just, so, and they're actively involved in it. We'll have them out there, and, you know, it's not like we're trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to go in and do it. We have people that, you know, are, well, it's foolish, we shouldn't be doing it and stuff like that. Well, they're not in our shoes, and they're not there. And from what we've found out, that, yeah, it's something that needs to be done, and so that's where we're at. So we just ask you guys' support. And
Yeah.
if you want, I can bring up a copy of it. It's a base copy, it's not done, or if you want me to wait till with the model that we turn in, I'm more than glad to get to. But right now, it's in, we're working.
When do you want the support letter by?
I would like to have it if I can by the end of the week or first part of next week. I
Okay.
can give you, here's the address you can send it to. And that way, what it is, it just goes into this middle,
Okay,
so.
So as far as following through on this, we'll definitely do a vote to make sure that the full commission's on board. To get it to you this week, we can do stamped signatures, and whenever you guys come on in, have you sign it then. And work with you and Sean for, and actually go through Mike's book. We should be able to find some really good information there to put together a support letter.
And again, I cannot stress enough to look and read over Section 8
Yeah.
of Montana Annotated. Because everybody thinks this is an irrigation district. Total different thing. You will be amazed when you start reading that, and that's what we were, because we had no idea that this was here. So, but I thank you all for your time.
Do we have a motion on this subject? Give a second.
To a support letter for some grants, I'll go along with that.
That's been moved and seconded to write a support letter for the Lower Deep Drainage District. Discussion, we have a question, Tim?
Yes, Madam Chair, Bill, do you guys have a close estimate yet on the total cost of cleaning the ditch out and replacing culverts and getting it up to where you're trying to get to for?
Right now, dealing with what we've got, okay, you've got from culvert removal, replacement, fencing, access, cleaning, and this and that, probably right around about 150,000. And that's why, right now, this is all preliminary on what we're doing. We're just trying to get it up, flowing, and working, Tim. And then that's when, to put this overall grant for 150 together, submit it, and that'll be in 2016. And then what I'm doing right now is I'm finding grants and writing grants. And right now, I've just been working with the DNRC, and this $150,000 grant is through DNRC. But that way, if we can get that, and by getting these 3 grants, the 10,000 from the emergency fund, this other one's from DNRC irrigation, irrigation type grant, and then the one from the conservation district. That'll have that, if we get those, that'll basically be about 40,000. Okay, so then we're working in stages as we go, and at the same time, I'll find some other grants, and we've got a good network that are helping us locate those. I'll start writing grants on that, submitting those, and then at the same time, working toward the goal to when we can do everything. We're not thinking that we're gonna go out there right now and just rip, tear, and everything out and do all this, no. We're basically going out, tearing these initial culverts out, trying to get the flow back in. Putting up temporary fences because we got people with livestock, either horses, cows, and then other things that we wanna, that people's homes are there. We're not thinking of going in and just raping the ground. No, we got operators that will basically go in and say somebody's got a tree that we can work around, but it also it's aesthetically nice for their ground. We're gonna work with them on it. We're not just gonna tear it out. And the other is that we're trying to put, and this is a biggie right now too, is all these we have to get bids on after we get these initial grants, right?
And excuse me, Madam Chair, just for clarification, that's all I was looking for, is to get the ditch cleaned out so you can get it drained.
Yep.
So that you can start moving forward.
And start moving
If you had
forward.
an estimate on that initial.
Right, and then the biggest thing is right there is we're putting quite a few people from town to work on from fencing crews to the equipment operator, and stuff like that. So it's economically wise, it's a good plus for the county, city, and everything. So, but it's a work in progress.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor, any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
All right, thank you
We'll
very
have that
much.
for you this week, Bill.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, right, 11:30, we have about 2 minutes. We don't have our county planner here, so what we'll do is we'll go through mail for just a few minutes. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill.
We have time cards. Again, a new practice required by law to get your paycheck. You have to get those signed and just turn in to Debbie. This is from the Department of Public Service Regulation, and this is for Bull Mountain Sanitation LLC. It's filed with the PSC, and this is more of an FYI, not necessarily for us, but if you know someone who knows them, let them know. We also have city, county, and other governmental entities, open cut mine permitting. This is a public hearing, and it looks like an arm change, 22 years with the program, 5 years as an open cut consultant, and it's more of an advertisement. The other thing is there's been an awful lot of scare tactics about PILT. There's been an effort to try and bring forth the truth, the facts regarding PILT. This is the county newsletter from NACO, National Association of Counties. And the front picture here is of the PILT fly-in, which was done by the Forested Counties Coalition in MICO. 2 commissioners, Ravelli and Lewis and Clark County, sent people to Washington, D.C. to meet with the congressmen from the forested counties, states around the country, which is all of them except for, I understand, Rhode Island. Just a couple of things from this article, and Trudy, if you'd like a copy, you know, to maybe bring some of this information forward, be more than happy to share it with you.
Okay.
This year, PILT provided $437 million to approximately 1,900 counties and other local governments to compensate for revenues foregone because of federal tax-exempt public lands within their jurisdictions. Several senators and representatives participated in the NACO organized Capitol Hill briefing, September 18th, expressing their support for permanently funding the critical payments to land-rich but revenue-strapped counties. State Finance Committee Chairman Ron Whiteman of Oregon plans to introduce legislation to fully fund PILT, the Secure Rural Schools Program, and the Land and Water Conservation Fund for fiscal year 15, in addition to another bill to permanently fund those programs at 150% of current funding. Not only do we feel it's right, but it builds on what has been successful for us in the past, building a broad coalition. I want to get rural communities off this roller coaster. And it goes on to say more. I just wanted to make sure that, yes, it's a reiteration of what's been said before, but these are the facts on the ground, and the scare tactics are getting us nowhere. So, Trudy, I'll get you a copy of this article. It's got some good information in it. And I left my voice somewhere this weekend, so sorry about that. We do have our county planner in here, and it is 11:30, so we have Nicole Brown, planner, Brad Campbell, extension request for Meadows subdivision phase 2. Come on up, you guys. Good morning, Brad. We got your letter last week and did read it into the minutes and in the meeting. We just wanted to put it on the agenda and follow the process. Thank you. Let me have your letter right here.
I want to say thank you for sketching me.
You bet.
Sure. I know this is not the first time I've asked for an extension. Hopefully it'll be the last time. Only thing I really have left to do is put the gravel on, stop signs, and corner markers, monuments. And I have just waited and waited and waited. only to improve. So hopefully the market would improve. And we all know that everybody in the subdivision business in the last 6 or 8 years has had a terrible time. So we're just waiting. I tried very hard to keep it alive, so I could finish it out. And, I think I'm just gonna have to do it.
You must have sold one lot, looks to me like they're building up high there at the end of the road.
Pardon?
You must have sold one of the lots up by the canal.
It was a resale. It was one that I actually sold in the first couple of months
Oh, okay.
of having my approval. And I think it was a lot that the buyer speculated on. I sold 3 lots that were, at least in my opinion, were just pure speculation at that time. Everybody thought that this housing would continue forever, and it didn't. And everybody, myself included, and three speculators all got caught. So, and we're all doing the same thing, we're all just waiting for a better day. Yes, I would guess maybe the county is too, but
I think everybody is, because it affects everybody. Everybody's intertwined with each other.
And the lot that was sold was part of phase 1.
yes,
So these
it
phase
was
2
phase
lots,
one, it was,
can't be sold until they're final. Well, they can't.
this, yeah, you're right, that, I just didn't stop and think about it. But it was phase 1, and phase 2 was what we're trying to finish up. And everything's in, you know, the phone conduits are in, electric service is in, the road grading is done. It's just, I just need, it's the gravel that costs $50,000 that I've been installing on. So if you'll give me 1 more year, I'll try and do it. I'll see if I can get it done, you know. You can only let it go so long.
I think Gallatin County's up to what, 5 or 10 years? It's a long.
It's quite possible. The way that the legislation has changed the code, not this last legislative session, but the one before, that it's a mutually agreed upon period of time. These extensions used to be 1 year only. Developers would only
Well,
have one
that's
shot,
why
and it's nice to have.
every year it
Yeah.
came back, but, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, and it's written in our regulations, it's state law enough so the commission can agree on.
Oh, can I have 5 years or
We have something here that says 1 year.
Right.
Requesting.
I do like the 1 year because it keeps the issue in
Well,
front of us so that we don't forget about something.
It does,
because
it
can
keeps it on the
happen for
front
5
burner.
years. Yeah,
And, you know, it's turned out to be a pretty nice hayfield for me.
nice, good,
Yeah.
good.
And I had to buy an oversized wheel line so we could run over the top of the
Transformers there.
transformers. But, it has worked, and I do want to get it done though.
Oh, sure, it's an unfinished project.
Yeah, I don't want to
for
leave
you.
it with my grandchildren, I'm done. You know.
And I think it's important to note, this really does not have any negative effects on the county to grant these extensions. Basically, it's a paper subdivision, but like you said, he's still farming it, so what harm would there be in extending it? It really doesn't affect the
Basically,
county
it's there,
negatively.
basically, it's there.
It is there, you know, and, yeah, I could probably finish it up in pretty short order if I just break down and order the gravel, you know. So, but if you can bear with me another year, I'd certainly appreciate it.
What does the board have to say? Are there more questions?
I have no problem with a year extension.
All right, the motion's been made. Franklin?
Okay, I'll use that as a motion then.
Do you want to
second.
second it?
Oh, I thought you was going on what I said. Oh, you made a motion then? Oh, okay. What's that?
It's been moved and seconded to grant the Double C Ranch a 1-year extension for final plat. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll, you know, I keep it up every year.
Mhm.
It's easy with the hayfield, so. I'll do my best to get it finished this year.
And you know, you're the expert on this. This is a, private property.
It's been so long, I've almost forgotten, you know.
Right? Well, we won't let that happen because you keep coming back every year.
You're coming back.
I'll bring you a letter to sign.
I think the price of gravel's gone up since it started.
It's possible.
Yeah,
You think it's possible? Yeah.
that's a bad.
Just like everything.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Reader getting up there now.
Is it? What's the reason for that?
Just the cost of everything. If they haven't delivered, like there, I bet it's talking at least $20 a yard now.
We went out to dinner the other night for my birthday, and it was really expensive. I said, well, why? He said, you have to remember what the cattle prices are doing.
Yeah, yeah, okay.